Hi, this is Dr. Steph with Stay Mobile KC, your source for inspiration on getting and staying active in Kansas City. I'm here with Lex Feyh. She is a licensed marriage and family therapist with CNC Therapy Group in Overland Park, Kansas. Hi, Lex. How are you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. So we're here today talking about some tips about getting through this stay-at-home order, some people refer as lockdown or quarantine, emotionally, I guess. So how are things going for you and with the people that you work with?
Things are going really well, and today we are going to talk about ways that parents can help their kids. And as someone who works with kids as a therapist, it is important that I want to remind everyone that if you have had a therapist in the past or would like some extra support now, many therapists in the area are offering virtual sessions. And we can also do therapy with kids virtually as well right now. I know of schools even who are promoting their counseling and therapy services right now as well. So just keep in mind that there is support out there for you. Although I hope to give you some helpful tips today too.
Well, thank you. So what have you got for us today?
Okay, so first thing on my list of tips is keeping a routine or developing a routine.
Mm-hmm.
Kids are missing out on that now since they're not in school. And so sometimes routine feels too rigid for some families, and that's completely understandable. So even just a regular bedtime, wake up time, and meal time does give kids the sense of predictability in their day that actually helps with emotional regulation. And the predictability for kids in a schedule is huge for them.
Right.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, they don't have the predictability of school right now, so.
Yeah, and so even if like some children are too little to be doing the at-home school, some are old enough to where parents are kind of involved in having to lead that ship for them. And so you can develop times throughout your day where kids know that this is reading time. And then a big thing is incorporating like recess time too, where it's free playtime, bonus if they get to go outside and play. But that kind of like brain break is huge for them to help them throughout their day.
Great. So what's your next tip?
The next tip kind of leads into this is remembering the benefits of play. So play is how children learn. It's they are learning they learn in a different way than we do. And so sometimes it's easy for parents to feel like that kids have to be productive, getting their schoolwork done, doing chores around the house, but play is so important for kids. And that is playtime alone, and especially with family too. So if there are board games that you like to play, even just sitting on the floor and being active with your child in their play is going to be extremely beneficial. And of course, again, I'll say that going outside for playtime is going to be huge as well.
Right. And hopefully the weather's going to continue to get better.
Yes.
Because crazy enough, it snowed yesterday. Did you see the snowflakes?
Yes.
Okay.
Now it's beautiful out.
Yeah. So what's your next tip? What's tip number 3?
Tip number 3 is maintaining a connection with others outside of the home. And so whether that is setting up a video call with a family member, cousins, I've heard a lot of even friends, if you know contact information for parents, just making sure that kids get to connect with others outside their home is very beneficial for them. And it's just as beneficial to talk to grandparents. Sometimes kids can read grandparents or family members a story or just show them things that they have going on at home, and that can be really valuable.
Oh, that's neat. You know, I am a part of an artistic skating club because that's what I do. But we've been meeting. We normally have a dance class every Friday night. And so at that time, we've been meeting. The first time we just talked, I'm surprised that they're not just connecting with each other because we always spend time together, this group. But yesterday we had a talent show, and it was so fun and so funny. You know, they had our coach do a TikTok. They had him learn it, and so a couple of them did that together. And you know, it's just little things. One person played, you know, an instrument, and it didn't matter whether you did great or did bad, but it was really fun.
It is.
It's so much fun.
It's fun, and it brings some joy to your day.
Right, and we got to reconnect, which we do all the time when this isn't going on. So it's really good. It felt good to me. I can't imagine what it was like for the kids. So
yeah.
So what's tip number 4?
Tip number 4, this can be a scary one, but just to remind parents that they are the model of their children to stay calm and to have like emotional regulation themselves. And that just means that obviously kids can be pretty wound up and chaotic and even get to a place where they're showing like anger or irritability, and being that sense, that calm in the storm does do a lot, and your children feed off of it, and that can be incredibly hard. But I just, you know, it is a helpful reminder for parents that if they can stay calm, then they can also promote a calm, collected household.
Oh, good. But how do they, and maybe y'all, you know, but how do parents know when it's okay to share their emotions with kids and not share their emotions with kids?
Well, I would say using children's language, keeping it to language that kids can understand, is one of the biggest things to keep in mind. And also, it's really helpful for kids to hear, like, no, oh, mom feels stressed too. Mom misses going to work and seeing friends. And you know, it's not like, oh my gosh, mom feels so depressed, that type of thing. But it is just, you know, validating that this is hard on all of us. Right. And that can make kids feel like, okay, I'm not the only one. I'm not a problem.
Right.
This
we're
is
all
hard
in
on all
together.
of us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, good. Well, I think we're on tip number 5.
Yes.
Okay. What's
tip number 5, and this kind of goes hand in hand with the staying calm for parents, but making sure that they are taking care of themselves. So just as much as we want to promote play for your children, if we can think of like parent self-care as a play for themselves too, like whether that's reading, getting outside too, but if we can take care of ourselves as parents, then it's going to be easier to be calm and to help your household go better. One of the other things too is you can do your self-care time with your kids. So maybe you have a family quiet time where you're reading and kids are coloring or reading themselves, but where everyone kind of gets to calm down and relax.
Okay, so they can do an activity that they want to do, but it just needs to be one of the quiet activities.
Yeah.
All right, and then they have another time during the day where they can just kind of go a little bit wild because they need that too. And that gives the parent some peace.
Yes.
Right.
They can.
Well, what's tip number 6?
Tip number 6 is, I talked about this last week too, but giving yourself a reset and giving your kids a reset.
My kid.
So that basically means that, I mean, we're not going to have great days all the time. And sometimes you may have developed this routine, things may have been going well, and then you have a really rough day. And it's just helpful to remember that you get to start over the next day, and help knowing that your kids get to start over too. Maybe not if they had a really rough day yesterday, just knowing that it's going to be helpful if they get a blank slate that day, and for yourself too. You know, we can be irritable during this time, we can get grouchy even, and just you get to start over the next day, and we can remind our kids that too.
Well, that feels like, you know, really a real relief to me, and I can't imagine.
I have 6 tips today.
Was that number 6? Because I totally got lost.
Yes, that is 6. And I mean, I have ideas too for playtime or just getting creative with that, but Pinterest is a really good resource right now too for outside activities for kids, games that you can even play virtually with others outside your home. So just keep in mind that the internet is our friend right now as far as finding ways to keep our families busy. It can feel overwhelming, but Pinterest does have like scavenger hunts, that kids can do inside their home or outside, and that can be a fun thing for parents and kids to do together, or for siblings to do together.
Right, like the older kids maybe set up the scavenger hunt and the little kids get to go find.
Yeah.
Yeah, neat. So thank you so much for all your tips today, Lex. I really appreciate it.
Yes.
And I look forward to talking to you again soon for some more tips on getting through this.
Okay, that sounds great. Hang in there.
Thank you. Bye-bye.